Hi, I'm Jay Levs.
I'm Zach Reisner.
And I'm Chris Rocca.
We are here to investigate academic stereotypes of Asian Americans and whether they are indeed true or not. We went around our high school, Roslyn High School, asking our fellow students, Asian and non-Asian Americans alike, what they had to say about these stereotypes.
Our first question was, when you think of an Asian American's work ethic, what does one think of?
Really smart, good at math, working hard, like doing everything like possible in school that's like available to you.
I'm good with computers.
Studious, hardworking, like no social life basically. Spend all your time working and you're pressured by your parents.
I guess we're smart, we study hard and we work hard.
As you can see, most of the common assumptions relating to Asian American work ethic involve working hard and studying a lot and being smart. We decided to put these assumptions to the test to see if they were actually true. We found that Asian Americans study a lot, and we also found Americans that didn't seem to work as hard. But we also found the exact opposite happening, completely rejecting these stereotypes.
How many hours a week do you spend in extra help?
Next to none.
I don't even go to extra help.
Probably like an hour and a half.
How many hours a week do you spend studying for tests?
Little to none. I'm not really your typical like Asian stereotype. Have no life outside of school where nobody ever sees you and you're always studying. I hardly ever do that.
Not really a lot.
Say like 8 on a good day.
The various stereotypes assigned to Asian American students cause them emotional distress and create conflicts with their peers, both those of different races and those in their own racial group, as seen from Fisher, Wallace, and Fenton in 2000. Lee in 1996 reported that high and low achieving Asian identified students experience anxiety to uphold the expectations of the model minority stereotypes. Now, what you're probably wondering is, what is the model minority? It has been said in a lot of ways that Asian Americans have done remarkably well in achieving the American dream of getting a good education, working at a good job, and earning a good living. So much so that the image many Americans have of Asian Americans is that they are the model minority, a bright, shining example of hard work and patience whose example other minority groups should follow. We proceeded to investigate whether teachers believe in this model minority statement.
Well, I think specifically from first generation Asian Americans, I have seen more of a work ethic. I see Asian American students come to extra help more often than I would say any other population that I have. One example is just a student I had last year who was working on his college essay. He came to see me during every free period that he had, daily, and then after school every day, and he was just constantly working on that, and that's something that I see replicated within that culture frequently, but not often from other cultures within the school. So I think that's been my experience with it so far as a teacher.
I would say in terms of the students that I have, obviously, all my students I would like to think work hard. In terms of the consistent theme that I've seen is a level of respect for teachers. But I mean, obviously, you can't say that everyone adheres to a certain stereotype because that's wrong. So that's all I can say is I see a common level of respect there.
I think that the Asian American students work just as hard as other kids, not necessarily more, but I believe that their classroom demeanor is a little more structured, possibly, and that might lead to some assumptions that they work harder, and I think maybe slightly more focused on topic at times. I don't think it's a blanket statement. Obviously, it's a very individualized basis, but it's a slight trend, I would say at best.
Okay, 1 out of 3 said that Asians worked harder, while the other 2 teachers saw not much of a significant difference between Asian American students and non-Asian American students. However, a common theme that was taken note of was the level of respect and how they conduct themselves in the classroom. We then decided to talk to a few students on their thought about writer Brian Womack's quote, "We Americans have nothing on the Asian American work ethic." Here are their responses.
I mean, I guess it depends on the person, like the individual's work ethic, not based on, it's also definitely influenced by your culture, but if, like say an American person is really driven to do well, then I'm sure you can equate with an Asian American.
Well, I don't think Americanism has anything to do with hard work. I mean,
just depends like how your parents raise you, I guess. I mean, I don't think it's culture.
It doesn't really matter what race you are, just how hard you work. Like, you don't have to be a certain race to feel more pressure on you and to do better. You just.
As you could see, the non-Asian students 100% agreed with the quote, while the Asian Americans showed respect and humility when they answered this question, whether they believed it or not. This agrees with the teacher's statements and our hypothesis that the stereotypes are not necessarily true in an academic environment.